First thing we're gonna make is broccoli and rice casserole. So of course you need broccoli. You're gonna need some seasoning, some shredded white cheese. Yeah, say sharp right. So yeah. Some sliced cheddar. You want some onion and bell pepper. We're gonna use a little cream of mushroom soup to make it real. We're gonna use some butter, some sugar, sour cream, and cream cheese. We want to start boiling our rice first, so we'll start with some rice and some water. It's already a little bubbly, so I may have to add a little more water because it's been boiling for a minute and a lot of the water has boiled out. We're gonna add some salt and some into it just to help a little bit. Now this water was already boiling when I started, but I had to put some more in it because it had almost boiled out. Normally when you have water that's boiling, you don't want to add cold water or room temperature water to it because that just takes away from the boil. So better if you boil some water aside in maybe a kettle or another pot, and once it starts boiling, then you add it. So after you heat up your skillet, you're gonna let this butter melt and line the pan because we want to saute our onion and bell pepper first. And I already know it's gonna sizzle because it's frozen. Because I always find it easier if you chop your vegetables beforehand. So I chop my onion, and these are my fresh bell peppers from the garden, if you look at our garden episode. And we chop all of that up. We freeze the onion, and that way you have it when you need it and it doesn't go bad. So that's done pretty good. The skillet is really hot. So we just gonna start putting a little onion because we're gonna use it in several dishes. So we don't want to use it all in the first dish. So we're gonna add some onion, and I'm leaving it thick because I want this to be kind of thick. I don't want it to be just the texture of only the broccoli. I want it to have other textures in it. So well, that one is, I'm gonna say it's a little too big, but we're just gonna let it cook down. So we got our onion and our bell pepper sauteing in there. Can you hear that sizzle? They are cooking really good. You want to add a little salt and pepper to it. Move it around a little bit in here. Let it soak up some of that butter. And let it keep it kicking. Look how that butter is starting to caramelize. Ooh, it smells so good. When your bell peppers start lightening up like that, that means they're getting done. Okay, that's looking real good. We don't want our butter to burn though. We want to keep some of this butter in here because we want to start adding our broccoli. Yeah, all of it. Let me just toss a little bit. Get some of that butter in there, mixing with the onion and the bell pepper. Now that it starts steaming, we want to put a little seasoning in it, not too much, because we still want it to taste like vegetable. This is not chicken. So we're only going to use a little seasoning salt, a little onion powder, just because I love the taste of onion powder. And we're going to put a little garlic salt in it just to make sure that it's pretty good, because I don't use a lot of salt. You see, that's about all the salt I use. So that way it gets all the salt it needs. So I'm going to move this around. Make sure that every piece of it is covered in seasoning, because I don't want to taste seasoning on one part and don't see seasoning on the other. See that onion? That onion is good sitting up in there though. And y'all know I gotta use my butter. And I just want to pretty much soak all of the broccoli in that nice buttery goodness. Now we're gonna let that sit there and see while we check on the rice. There we go. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit so it won't burn. And the moisture from that frozen food, which helps, because now I don't have to add water or anything to it, because while it's cooking in here, it's gonna make its own steam. Okay, our rice is ready. Ooh, yum, yum. Look at that. All that broccoli. And now it's ready to start adding the other fillings to it. Now at this point you can add things however you want. I just like to mix my stuff up first. So I'm going to start stick of butter so it can start melting. Then I'm going to also get ready to add my other ingredients. Let that butter melt. Ooh, yeah, that broccoli is so good. Now I'm opening a pack of cream cheese. Now I don't want to use the whole thing because I want to use it in the hot pot too. So I'm just going to use about half of it. About half. I actually want more of it in my hot pie than I do in the casserole. So I'm just going to use a little bit in the casserole. Just enough to make it thick and give it that nice creamy taste that I like. Also, I'm going to set it down a little bit because it doesn't have to fry. You just want it to start melting. Yeah. At the same time, I'm going to put a nice little breadfruit of sour cream in it. Yeah. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's gonna be so good, y'all. It smells good. Let's get that out there. Stick it there. We're gonna mix this up. Okay, now that we got that melted down, we're gonna add just a teeny bit of sugar. Not a lot. Y'all know I used to use sugar. But in this, I don't want it real sugary. I just want a little bit. And apparently the Lord had a different idea. since he just dropped a big old hump in there. So, oh well, that must be the way it was meant to be. So now I'm going to start mixing in the broccoli. And the way I'm doing it, I'm not just chomping it over in it. I'm kind of stirring it little by little, pulling a little broccoli in and pulling a little sauce all at the same time. I'm not stirring it, and kind of just mixing it. Fold it a little bit. Make sure it gets everywhere because cream likes to sit in one spot. So it's easier to fold it, grab it, and fold it than to try to stir it. And look at that. That is some good broccoli. Woo! Yes, indeed. So now we're going to add the other ingredient because it can't be a broccoli and rice casserole if there's no rice. So we're going to start putting some rice in it. You can loosen this up if you want to first. Me, it really doesn't make a difference because I'm going to chop it up anyway. And I'm going to start mixing it up too. And once it starts mixing, it's going to break up anyway. See that? It's breaking up. I don't even have to worry about that. Add a little more. I am. Yes, indeed. Get all that goodness, all that yummy goodness, that flavor. I'm going to get it all in there because we want our rice to have that same flavor that everything else has. You don't want to taste a broccoli casserole and taste broccoli separate from the rice. The broccoli is delicious and full of flavor. And then the rice is just blah, blah. So you want to always mix that rice in there real good. And I'm going to switch spoons because this is heavy, y'all. I'm good with the iron. Let's flip this a little bit. Yeah, that's working better. If there's any noise in the background, maybe a little humming, that would be the vent. Because it is so hot in here that over the stove, we don't want any fire alarms going off. So we're going to go on and we're going to mix that up real good. Looks like it's, yeah, look at that. So now we're going to start adding our final ingredient. What is that? Dun, dun, dun. Cheese. Y'all know how I am about cheese. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, do it, do it, do it. Got to get that cheese, put that cheese into it. Okay. Open it up because I'm not going to just use one kind of cheese. I'm not just going to use some slice. Come on, get real. You know me. I'm going to shred this bad boy up. Yeah. Put little pieces in there like that. Put it in like that. Don't try to put the whole slices in there because it'll take longer to melt. We want this to melt. And I know normally I use my other cheese, but this one was cheaper today and it's just as good. It just takes a little bit longer to melt. But believe me, it has milk in it. If your cheese, when you read the ingredients, if your cheese does not say milk first, leave it where it is because it's probably vegetable oil. Okay, we got some cheese in there now. Let's fold it over. Let the heat hit it. Now you want to wait till last to put your cheese in because you don't want it to stick to the bottom of your pan. And if you put cheese in the bottom of an electric skillet like this, you ain't gonna have nothing but some burnt cheese. So we want to put it in there, then flip that hotness over it. Give it a chance to yum, yum. Yes, indeed. See how that's melting in there? You don't see them big humps. You don't see these slices. This is yummy, yummy goodness. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. See that? Everywhere you taste, you should get a nice little swirl of cheese. I'm just gonna smooth that out. And we're gonna do the put fine touches on it, which is of course more cheese. Yes, we want to put a little of the white cheddar in there. Oh, doesn't it look pretty? Look at it. Look at it. Oh, wee! Yes, ma'am. Look at there. Yum, yum, yum. We're going to put the top back on there. We're going to turn the oven. See, let's unplug this thing. It has done its job. We're going to put the top back on it. Let that cheese on top melt. Let that blend in. And yes. Look at that. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Let me drop out there. Look at that. Ooh. Look at that. Oh, that's so good. I'm Kimberlyracin.
Kimberlyracin, she step on the set clean. 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 K-I-M-B-E-R-L-Y. Kimberlyracin, she step on the set clean. K-I-M-B-E-R-L-Y.